Hello and welcome to Metal Vice, the podcast where we talk about all things music.
Well, the things we care about.
Right, which is primarily live music and metal music. I'm your host, Brian, joined by my other host,
Karen.
And today, Karen, we're going to talk about the House of Blues as one of our favorite venues, or maybe not. At the end of the show, we'll find out. But also the Static X Rise of the Machine show we went to go see. So, before we get too far into the show, let's talk about House of Blues. This was like one of the first venues we saw a show at here in Chicago.
Yeah. Yep.
And we both like loved it the first time we saw a show.
Oh yeah, yeah. And we were super excited to go back every single time.
It's small, it's intimate, it sounds really good.
Parts of it sounds
we'll find
really
out
good.
During this, but we've always gone in there with, oh my god, the sound is really good to hear on the floor. There's like, it's ornate, like it's got all this like religious symbolism. I think the whole thing is like unity, so you have different religious symbols. Like you have the Star of David, you have the crucifix, and a few other up there, all held up by Atlas on all sides of the floor. I don't know. I love the design, the ornateness of this building. It's really cool. And yeah, it's a smaller venue, but it's never felt like overly crowded until the last few shows we've been there.
Right.
But we always chalked it up to being just post-COVID. Everything's selling out post-COVID. Everybody wants to go to a show. And that's just driving up ticket sales. And I mean, that's good. We want bands we want bands to come back. We want people to sell out.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome when it happens.
Yeah. And obviously we want live music to continue, so we want people to go to the shows. But
yeah, and it's been one of our favorite, like I said, one of our favorite venues. Since then we have been to a few other ones here in town. The Radius is one that we've recently gone to, and we love that one as well.
Yeah, and that one's fairly new, like opened in 2021, I think.
Yep, right during the pandemic or right after the pandemic.
Yeah.
And lockdown and all that. There's also a few that we haven't been to, like the Salt Shed and whatnot, so I mean, we can't really judge that one. But the Radius is also different than this because it is much larger.
Right.
Where this one is just, it's always been a good small venue to go to.
Yeah, I would agree.
So, I mean, that was sort of our impression going in, that we had good experience at the House of Blues. Really like that venue. We really enjoy it. You've marked it as one of your favorite venues.
Yeah, I think at the year-end review, I kind of did them, I think, in order of favorite, and I think it was my second.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah. Well, no, maybe like third. Maybe I didn't do them in order.
But whatever, it was on that list.
I mean,
of your tops.
Yeah, like behind it or in front of it would be Mission Ballroom and Radius.
Yep.
So.
And Mission Ballroom being in Denver.
Oh, in Denver. Yeah.
I didn't have it on my list at that point. We did see Apocalyptica last year, and I wasn't like the biggest fan. And even though, actually, that wasn't that bad of a show either. I don't think. I'm gonna take that back. But it didn't crack my top 6 on that list. I don't think.
Yeah.
But whatever. It's still high up on my list, or it was, and yeah. So let's sort of set the stage. We'll find out at the end of this if it's still our favorite. Like I said, I started to slip. It's definitely not my favorite anymore. But yeah, let's dive into the show, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. So first, this show was originally announced for, I believe, March of 2020.
Yes. It was originally a 2020 show that got postponed because of COVID.
Yeah,
obviously.
the pandemic. Yeah.
And it kept. I don't know. This was on April 7th, 2023, that this show actually happened.
Yeah.
It was the Rise of the Machine tour. Like I said, I call it Rise of the Machine 2023. I think that, I don't know, whatever. That's what we called it. House of Blues, the venue didn't change. The ticket price we paid for back in 2020 was $30 with $11.75 in fees, over 30%.
Yeah.
And then 12 cents in tax. I still fucking love that tax is so goddamn nothing. And fees are like, go fuck yourself, basically. Anyway, whatever.
That's kind of crazy. I mean, the tickets that they were still selling, I mean, it ended up being a sold out show. But I remember seeing an advertisement that the tickets were $30. So the tickets didn't change from 2020 to.
So they didn't sell out in 2020?
I don't know. I don't know how it all went down.
Yeah,
I saw an advertisement for them being $30.
I know we showed up a little early this time because the last 2 times we've been to the House of Blues, we showed up before doors open, but not like when the doors open.
Yeah.
And when we would show up before doors open, like 20 minutes before or something.
Yeah.
It was already fucking insanely crowded the last couple times.
Yeah, like you can't get on the floor already. Yeah.
And this time we're like, fuck it, we're going to show up at doors, before doors even.
Yep. I think we showed up, doors were at
5:30.
5:30, we showed up at 5:22.
It wasn't that late, was it? I thought it
Yeah,
was more
no.
like 5 o'clock.
No, well, when I looked at my watch, which I'm pretty sure is when we got to the line, it was 5:22.
Okay.
I mean, by the time we got on the train and stuff, it was 5 o'clock, but we had to get downtown.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but still, like, got there a little bit before doors open. Security process getting in wasn't that bad. The
No.
line wasn't that long.
No.
They were using the good
The good
metal
door?
detectors.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say the good door.
The stuff
I feel
was
like
good, yeah.
the last 2 times when we had to like go around the building and go through like the main door was very not hectic, but like that took longer. Where this one is just like you go straight through the door.
Yeah, and the only thing I can think of is those were in colder weather, so maybe that like because then
Oh,
then you're going through the atrium,
Maybe.
and you have to close that door. Then you go from the atrium into the main room.
Maybe. And they were only letting like the last 2 concerts there, they only let so many people in at a time.
We're here. It's like it was like 40 degrees, 50 degrees or so.
Yeah.
By the time we got there, so you can leave that door open, and it's not going to be unbearable.
Yeah.
So I think that might be a rationale for how
Possibly.
they move people around.
Possibly.
But this one you went down around, you wrapped around the building. The road was under construction, which was kind of funny. I was like, how the fuck are people going to get in line and whatnot, right? Like,
Yeah, the sidewalk
we were
shut off
already
and
at
stuff.
the
Yeah.
end, so it's like, how are more people going to line up here?
Yeah.
'Cause we had been there before where we were on the bridge. The line went all the way back to the middle of the bridge.
Yeah.
And
I've seen pictures where the line goes all the way to Wacker.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's why I was like, what the fuck are we really going to start doing here to like wrap people around?
well, you could go around the corn cobs. Like that sidewalk kind of goes down into the corn cobs.
Oh,
yeah, and
okay.
around,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I've never been that way. But, I mean, so yeah, that was kind of funny. You got in the cool metal detectors where you don't have to take shit out of your pockets. More of they like take your phone and your keys and put them in your center and walk through. And if it goes off because it's detecting like more dense metals for like guns and knives and shit, then you get pulled aside, get patted down, and then you walk right up. Get your ticket scan, all that shit. But I like that setup a lot better. More and more metal detectors are becoming that style, and it makes entrance into a venue so much simple.
I mean, going back to 2019, they still did physical pat downs there.
Yeah.
So that's crazy to think that. I mean, it's been 4 years, but just the evolution of going to concerts there.
And the one thing I wanted to talk about a little bit is sort of that process in 2020 when bands rescheduled or canceled in terms of getting your money back. Like, this was one that didn't cancel. It was rescheduled. So you couldn't get a refund from your money from, like, Ticketmaster and all of that shit.
Oh, really?
But if they canceled, then you could have gotten a refund.
Okay.
So it just made me think because we've sold a couple tickets lately on, like, the secondary market on, like, StubHub and shit. And we've done it in the past, too, whenever we can't make a show or something, right? Or a sporting event. And they always tell you when you sell your ticket, you'll get your money 5 days after. 5 to 6 days.
Yeah, now they do.
Did they not do it before?
No, because when we sold Green Day, because we had tickets that were going to go to a friend, they ended up moving, so we sold them, and we sold them prior to the pandemic happening. We got our money.
Oh, did we? Okay.
Yeah, because like when the pandemic happened, I was like, wait, do we have to refund StubHub for that now? So we got it first. So they've changed their payment distribution since COVID.
Okay. I guess my question was, if a person who sells a ticket has to wait 5 days, the thought I had in my head while online was like, well, when the fuck's the band get paid for their portion of it? Do they have to wait till after they perform before they get paid also? Or is it sort of an upfront deal? I don't know. It was just a funny little
Well, that was
thought I
in
had.
Woodstock 99 where like one performer is like, I'm not playing until I get paid.
Yeah, that's true. And it's probably negotiation and it's different for every band.
I'm sure it is, yeah.
I don't know. It was just an interesting thought I had in my head. It's like, it's kind of funny that I have to wait to get my money, but does the band also have to wait? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Basically, the moral of the story there is I hate fucking, like, I don't know. I hate the whole ticket selling industry and Ticketmaster mainly, right? Like,
yeah. I don't think that these were originally through Live Nation when we originally bought them.
I think they were.
Oh, really?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, I don't remember.
But I can't remember either. I mean, it's 3 fucking years ago.
Yeah. I thought we had physical tickets for this, and then when you were like, oh, no, they're on Live Nation, I was like, they are?
Yeah, we didn't get physical tickets for this.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember that when we first got it. I was like, God damn it. More and more places are going to the non-physical.
Yeah.
So, getting into it, the bands, we didn't talk about that. Like we said, Static X, it was their tour. They were the headliners. You then had Fear Factory, Dope, Twisted, and Cultus Black. Now, this has been sort of all over the place in my mind because I think when it first was announced in 2020, it was Static X, Fear Factory, Dope, Mushroom Head, and Raven Black.
Yep.
I think that was the five that were going to be there
Yeah.
on the tour. And we were like, shit, this is going to be a fucking awesome show. We had just seen them in 2019. It was your first time, my first time seeing Static X. I don't think you really knew much of Static X going into it.
No, I didn't.
And you walked away being like, oh, I remember you walking away being like, this was fucking awesome. I love this band.
Yeah,
I want to see them again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we really enjoyed that show. And it's basically the exact same show because I think, like I said, what the lineup was back then in 2019.
Yeah.
And the only difference was they added, I think, Fear Factory this time around.
Yeah.
And I was excited to see Fear Factory because I know they were a band I listened to a little bit in high school. And I haven't listened to them a whole much since then, but like it's still a band I've always wanted to see. And I was excited for this. Mushroom Head, when we saw them, it was our first time seeing them. That was awesome. Raven Black. This wasn't the first time seeing Raven Black.
No, it's the second, yeah.
But I remember the first time you seeing her, and you just after they got off stage, you like turned to me like, "That's a big sound out of a little girl."
Yeah, I love Raven Black. Like I can't wait to see them perform again.
Yeah, and so we were like super excited for this. Like, holy shit, this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
That show was awesome. Dope was fucking sweet during that show. Like, it's gonna be fucking insane. We have to go back. The crowd was fucking amazing during that show.
Yeah, I think that's what made it so much fun is because I knew a few of the Static X songs just from knowing their songs, but I didn't really know any of the other bands playing or any of the other songs playing or that were being played. But the crowd in 2019 made it really enjoyable, and it wasn't just like standing there like I don't know this song. It's more everybody's having a good time. So
the whole
I'm having a
floor
good
was
time.
moving for like the entire concert.
Yes, yeah.
Not just Static X, but Dope, Mushroom Head, Raven Black. The whole crowd was just fucking insane.
Raven Black wasn't.
It wasn't, but it was still moving a little bit. Like
No,
it was still a good time.
I remember just standing there and singing, and like nobody really, nobody really was moving. In my opinion.
But then for everything else, it was a good crowd.
Yeah, but I remember for Raven Black because that was before like it was packed before the concert started, so like people were still filing in.
Yeah, and that's like we talked about that before, where like pre-COVID, it was people don't really show up to the openers; they slowly trickle in, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, that was super awesome to see that they were coming back, and I was stoked to see this show. The one thing that kind of threw me, like I said, this looked like the same show, and the lineup's changed a little bit through the years, but the core bands are still there, right? Dope, Fear Factory, Static X, and Mushroom Head.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we didn't see Mushroom Head, if you take a look at their flyer, like it's Static X, Dope, Fear Factory with special guest Mushroom Head, Twisted, Cultus Black, and it looks like Society 1. The poster I'm looking at is pretty small, and I can't really zoom it in that well.
I think that's right.
So the way I read that, it's like, oh shit, you get a lot of fucking music.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be 5 bands. Like you were gonna get Static X, Fear Factory, Dope, Mushroom Head, and then one of the other 3.
Twisted, Cultus Black, or Society.
Yeah.
1. And if you take a look at the poster too, there's not like little marks by most of them where we've seen this before, and I don't like it. I know you seemed indifferent last time we talked about it, but I don't like.
I was just indifferent on the Lamb of God one because I felt like it was laid out very well, and you thought it wasn't. But
not that it wasn't. I just don't like the choose your own adventure approach to this. Of you have to see all the bands that are listed, then you have to go to the bottom to the key, figure out what symbol means what band, then you have to go to go to your date, and it's like, oh shit, I don't want to see that band. I want to see this band, but they're going to be in Milwaukee. Does that work better that I can drive up to Milwaukee and see this? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Like that aspect of it, I don't like. I like the old. This is like the old man speaking thing, right? Where it's like I like the old way it was, where you got 3 bands. It was the same 3 bands for the entire fucking tour, and that's what you got. You knew what you were getting up front.
That is an old man thing to say.
But this like
back in my day, this is how they did it.
Right, but this like. Here's 12 bands. You can see some combination of these 12. You have to do the work to figure out what you're going to see. Yeah. And like that, I don't like.
I think last year was the first year that we really noticed this. But we also started going to a lot more concerts last year. But we really started noticing that there's sometimes like 7, 8 bands on a tour, but you only see 3 of them.
Right. But this one did have 5 shows, 5 artists, like you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
Static X, Dope, Fear Factory, Twisted, Cultus Black. Outside of a festival or not fest road show, which is supposed to be a festival-esque type thing, this is, I think, the most bands we've seen on a bill at once. 4's been the typical high. 3 was the average until like the last year or so. But 4 seems to be the new average, at least the shows we've seen lately.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. But yeah, I think maybe 5 is the most.
What were your thoughts on knowing you were going in to see 5 shows, given that the show started about, 6:30?
Well, I knew. I mean, I assumed, since it started at 6:30, I was like, okay, the first 2 bands are going to play for 20 minutes. And then the next band's probably going to play for 35 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour and 15, or hour and 20.
Were you, like, is that cool? Like, do you enjoy that kind of thing, that setup?
I mean, yeah, it's the normal setup, I guess.
I mean,
because otherwise it starts at 7:30 and the first band plays for 25 minutes, 35 minutes, 45 minutes. I mean,
yeah,
it's the same setup, just...
I guess. I mean, I went into this, I wasn't feeling the greatest going into this this show. My foot was hurting. I started to, like, get a little bit of a cold or something.
You can tell by your voice.
Yeah, and if you hear, like, smacking, I'm eating cough drops to, like, stop me from coughing. Like, it's a pretty bad cough. So I just was not feeling that well, and knowing that there were 5 bands, I actually kind of was a little angry. Not angry, but I was like, shit, god damn it, this is gonna be a tough night for me.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be there. I was so excited, so happy to be there. I know you were, so I wanted to.
I was excited, yeah.
Like, I didn't want to bring the mood down for you. Like, I was excited, and then I was pissed that I wasn't feeling well, and my foot was hurting and all of that. So it's like, shit, this sucks. But yeah, seeing that there were 5 bands on there, like, god damn it, why can't we just cut this by 1 band? Like, give the other bands more time than if that is the setup you were expecting. I was thinking more of like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, then the rest of the time for Static X.
Oh, see, I guess I was going from festival because, like, if you go to a festival, like, the first 3 hours, the bands only play for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I was just going from that type of setup to use for this concert as well.
I guess. That's where I wasn't, I guess, because to me it's not a festival. So
no, it wasn't.
You don't use festival timing, or at least you shouldn't. This is where when bands go on and do their own tour, that's where they get more time to, like, have their deeper stuff, their stuff that they're not playing at the festivals and whatnot, in my mind anyway.
Well, they're also, the first 2 bands are special guests, so...
I guess, but to me that just means these are your openers. And that's the thing too, like, all the, like, Fear Factory, Dope, and Mushroom Head have all been headlining acts before as well.
Yeah, so but Mushroom Head wasn't there tonight.
They weren't there also, right? Because, and that's another thing, we went in expecting to see Mushroom Head, even though even on our list, we didn't have them listed.
Yeah, I'm sure that somewhere at some point in time,
we had that in our head that we were seeing Mushroom Head.
Oh, well, I had that in my mind because I was going off of the Instagram advertisement where Mushroom Head is written bigger, and then, like, Twisted, Society 1, and Cultus Black are really, like, pretty small. So I was reading it as you get these 4 bands plus 1 special guest.
Yeah.
So, but that didn't happen.
But anyway, didn't happen, like you said. Got into the show. I wore a heavy coat because, like I said, wasn't feeling well, and it was colder outside. It's April, early April in Chicago. Like, it can get fucking cold. That night was a decent night. But wanted to go check a coat, and once again, no coat check.
Yep.
Second time in a row, no coat check.
Yeah,
last time was fucking cold as shit.
Yeah, last time it was in February when we saw We Came as Romans, and they didn't have a coat check, so everybody was wearing their coats. So I wore a sweater because I did not want to get stuck with the coat.
Yeah, I didn't want to suffer in the cold, so I was like, fuck it, I'll just tie my coat.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't, but still. That was a little frustrating with me. I really don't like when venues don't have coat checks when it's cold outside. April's more reasonable to not. Like, you can make an argument for why not to have it in April, but because they didn't have it when we saw We Came as Romans. And when was that? Like February?
Yeah, February.
And it's cold as shit in February.
Yeah, I think it was like 20 degrees that night. So
that's very frustrating, especially when you consider that they staff up 4 bars on the main floor, and then you can't give, like, one person, you can't staff one person to do coat check type thing. And, like, I don't know, that was a bit frustrating. All the merch was back in that back area where it always is. No problem there. But because we got there early before doors open, we got pretty decent seats right on the floor.
Seats? We were standing.
Spots.
Yes.
Pretty decent spots right on the floor.
I mean, I think we could have technically probably been on rail if we wanted to, because there was a couple opening, like, I'm saying openings where you can kind of squeeze in. But like you were gonna go on like the left side, and I was like, oh, let's stand where we don't,
Stage right, yeah.
like where we used to stand, over on the side. So because that's where we used to stand all the time.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, and you could easily like walk down in there, and there were times where like in between bands you'd walk to the back
and then
you'd
go back,
easily
right
be
back
able
down.
to fight. Not really fight, but like
You can
worm your
walk
way-
back. Yeah.
worm
There's
your
no
way back.
fighting. It's just you walk back to your spot.
Yep. But the last few shows we've seen there, it's if you want to be on the floor and you're not there right away, you're gonna have to like not, you know what I mean by fight, where you have to like
Yeah. You have to move.
wiggle in between people
Yeah.
and shit. So get our spot, stand there, playing a bunch of fucking classic rock music while we're getting ready. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed
I couldn't
classic
hear
rock.
it. So
Yeah, and while we're standing there listening to music, a guy walks up to me, compliments my shirt, says he's wearing the same one under his coat, a Ghost shirt, I think. And then he starts asking, like, who's here tonight? And, like, even they were unsure of, like, who all is here. And we're like, I think Mushroom Head? And he's like, well, there's Dope. There are no Fear Factories here. And there's, like, this black band. I don't know what they're called. And I didn't know what it was either. I'm dyslexic, so when you start switching like triangles for A's and shit,
yeah.
I get
Well, and
really
also
confused.
their logo is CVLTVS, but it's Cultus, like so, like the U, but they spell it with V, or like the logos with V's. So I could understand how that would make it worse for somebody who has a reading disability.
I did notice one person around us. I don't know if it was the same guy or a different guy, but he's like, "Who's this? What were the first three letters?
CVL.
Who's this CVL verse Black band?"
I could see that. Yeah.
And then I was like, that's all one word. I don't know what. And I wasn't going to correct him because I don't know what that one word is.
Yeah.
But like the spacing, you could tell because they were closer together than the space between
Yeah.
Black.
Yeah.
But I did smile when I heard that. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
But they come on stage, 6 motherfuckers, all in like outside the singer, all in like these hoodies. All their skin is painted black. All wearing basically the same sort of kind of clothing. All this like black trench coat, not trench coat, but like I don't know, jeans and long sleeve shirts and hands painted and these like little masks on with just the eye holes cut out. And the lead singer comes out and he's like no shirt, but he's half his body is painted black and he's got weird symbols.
Yeah,
and
black
shit.
and white. Yeah.
Weird symbols like carved into the black as he's going. His whole face is like painted black. It's a really cool
His
aesthetic.
face wasn't painted black. He had like black across his eyes.
Oh, I thought the whole like
No.
top of the head was black and it was like dripping down like paint almost.
Maybe.
Anywho,
Anyways.
really cool aesthetic to the band.
Yeah.
Gave me a lot of vibes of Sleep Token.
Me too. I thought the same exact thing. I was like, oh, they have the same. I mean, the music's totally different than Sleep Token, but I was like, oh, they have the same vibe as Sleep
In
Token.
terms of like band imagery.
Yeah. Yep.
All like cohesive all together. We talked about this with who was the band with Helvetii? Shit, I know their name. Omnium Gatherum, where they're all in like denim.
Oh yeah, that was more the cut off denim jacket thing.
Right, but at the same time, it's still a band aesthetic. They
Yeah.
all come
No,
out.
I understand that. My whole comment on it was the cut off denim jacket.
Yeah, but I like it and don't like it when bands are all wearing the same thing.
Yeah.
But I lean more towards liking it than not liking it. If that makes any sense whatsoever.
If it makes sense, it makes sense. But if it's
Yeah.
something that doesn't go with their music or something, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I enjoyed it. They came out and at first I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy this because they're all once again all wearing the same goddamn shit.
Oh, okay.
Because like I go back and forth if I enjoy that or not. And like I said, more times than not, I lean towards I fucking love it. And to be honest, when I say I don't enjoy it, it's just me at first being like I don't like this, but then it's like I fucking like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ghost does it. Slipknot does it. Mushroom Head. We just said them. Sleep Token, right? Just to name a few. Rammstein to some extent used to do that, and
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
not as much anymore. But they still have some kind of sort of aesthetic that goes on. I don't know. I tend to lean towards I really like that. And when they started playing, it was like, okay, this is good. I really enjoy this.
I loved their sound and their set and it was really short. It was like 20 minutes. 22 minutes, I think. But
only played 6 songs, which
oh really? I'm surprised that they even got 6 in.
which once again is like cut one of the bands and give this band more time.
I know. So after they got done playing, they were like, oh, we're going to be back by the merch. Like, we'll take pictures with you, you know, all that stuff. I did go buy merch after Twisted, but I kind of chickened out and just bought my shirt and left. I didn't do the whole, like, talk to the band.
Talk to 'em.
But in my mind, I had a whole conversation with them. And I was like, in my mind, hey, it would have been cool if you guys could have played 40 minutes and not had Twisted there. Because I really enjoyed them. I enjoyed their sound. I enjoyed the interaction with the crowd. Because, like, the lead singer comes down and, like, sings into the crowd. That's for
You Make Me Sick.
You Make Me Sick.
At the very end, he like got into the crowd
Yeah.
and was like, I don't know if he was giving people the mic to also like, because it was just
Oh, no,
You
it
Make Me
wasn't
Sick
that.
over and over,
Yeah.
like repeating that
Yeah.
a lot at the end.
I didn't see that. He just, like, held it over the crowd, but it wasn't, like, to
Yeah,
one
yeah,
person. And then at one point, the
So you
other
have
drummer.
You have the lead singer, a drummer, a bass, 2 guitars, and another percussionist who has sort of just like the bass drum, stand-up bass drum, sort of like clown, right?
Yeah.
And he also does backup vocals.
Yes.
And it's this drummer that you're going to talk about.
Yeah. So, like, at one point, he comes down and, like, crowd dives.
He was like standing on the
Stage
edge of the
dives.
thing.
That's what it's
Yeah,
called.
yeah,
Stage dives. Sorry, I was like, not crowd dive. Stage dives into the crowd, and then they,
And surfs a little bit.
yeah, very quickly surfs, and then the security took him back onto the stage.
I did notice that because when he jumped over, I think security was holding onto his foot.
Yeah.
And the crowd started pushing him back instead of forward.
Yeah.
And he kind of went back a little bit and did like this U until
And
he
then
got back
back,
over
yeah.
and then grabbed,
Yeah.
thrown back over and jumped right back
At
on
House of
stage.
Blues, they're so quick at grabbing you. Like, if you ever want to crowd surf at House of Blues, you need to start at the back and go all the way to the front, because otherwise they're going to grab you in like 2 seconds.
But the back's like 10 feet away, so it's not that far.
It is very short, but a lot of people start at like the 5th row, and they're going to grab you right away.
Yeah.
So you're not crowd surfing.
But I mean, super short set. They put on a
Unfortunately.
fucking amazing
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. I would have listened. I mean, if it was just them, Dope, Fear Factory, and Static X, it would have been perfectly fine with me.
Same.
I immediately after their set, I did not do it during their set because I know that drives you nuts that I'm on my phone. I followed them on Spotify. I wrote down their name and like downloaded all their songs onto my library or whatever, because I was like, I'm gonna listen to them again.
So like you said, after their set, they even said like, hey, we're going to be in the back selling merch. Come by, stop by, talk to us, hang out a little bit, buy some shit from us. If you follow us on Spotify, we'll give you a free gift.
Yeah, it was their set list.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I didn't get it. I didn't know what it was, but automatically when they said that, I was like, I'm going to follow them, but I'm not going to make them give me something because I follow them, because I'm here to support them. They don't need to give me shit.
Yeah.
Like
I assumed it would be something like a pick or maybe a t-shirt
a
type
pick,
thing.
I might have said like, hey, I follow you, but it was a set list. So
But then I was in the same way. Like, I'm not going to go back there and try to get
Yeah,
free shit from
exactly.
you because I know how much you live on merch and I don't want to be like,
Yep.
give me something for free.
Yeah.
But a set list. If
Yeah.
you just have a mobile printer there with you and you say print or just print out
Oh, they just had a stack of set lists.
print out 100, like especially if you're doing the same set list every show.
Yeah.
Fucking just print out, and you can hand write the date, and you can even fucking sign it right there for people.
Yeah. They like the person in front of me, they signed their shirt.
Yeah.
Like
So I mean,
as they were talking and stuff, and that's the person I chickened out, and I was like,
oh,
I got my shirt. Okay, bye.
but I mean, like that's the sign to me of like a upcoming band. Like,
Oh yeah,
you have to have that groundwork.
they
of,
only
like,
have one album. I noticed
they?
on
Okay.
Spotify. So we didn't go over the set list. What songs did they?
Witch Hunt, Killing the Beautiful, Nevermind, Burn, Negative Creep, a Nirvana cover, and then You Make Me Sick, their last song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So I did go back there as well to go to the bathroom, and as I was walking back to meet you, one of them was like, "Hey," and I just sort of like, "Hey," and walked by, and like another one, I think the lead guitar was just standing there, and he kind of like nodded at me, and I nodded back at him. But same thing, I was like, "I'm not fucking talking to you."
I know. This is why we don't do VIP things,
Yeah, I
because
know.
we're like, or meet and greets, I guess, or whatever, because we're like, we chicken out.
But at the same
What do you
time,
say? Like,
the simplest thing we could have said,
you
and
sang
neither one of us
good.
said, was, "You guys fucking rock.
Yeah,
Thank you." Like
that's
that's
true.
it.
That's true.
Or just fucking thank you. Like that's
Yeah.
all you have to do. Like, but no, I was like, "Hi, hey,"
Yeah.
and it's
I
like a
didn't
little
say
head nod.
anything, so you're better than me.
But I mean, fucking just that was fucking awesome. You guys kick ass. Thank you. Or just fucking straight up, thank you. Like, that's all you need to do. And I don't know, I'll work on that. I'll try to get better,
we both need to work on it. Yeah.
especially shit like that. And same thing we saw with Bloody Wood, A Killer's Confession. They were back there selling merch too.
Yep.
Same thing. We could have just walked by and been like, thank you.
They
You
did
guys
the same
fucking
thing.
rock.
They were like, hey, if you follow us on Spotify, we will give you something. And I think they were giving out like wristbands or something.
Oh, yeah, they were.
Or something, yeah. But I mean, it's like, we didn't do that because we're like, I don't know. I get too, I don't know. Like, what do you say to them?
Yeah.
I don't know.
This was
Fan shocked, whatever you want to say.
Anyway, this was fucking awesome. I love these guys. I'm gonna start checking them out more.
Yeah, I can't wait to see them play longer than 20 minutes.
I hope they come back. And this is definitely a band I'll keep an eye out for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Then we get into the next band, Twisted.
Yes,
We actually have a 7-inch album of theirs.
we do.
Got this as part of Record Store Day a couple times ago or some time ago. It was a Christmas CD or Christmas single, 7-inch single, green color and all that shit. And I thought it was a Twisted Christmas.
Like Twisted Sister.
Yeah, because Twisted Sister a few years ago, we also have on vinyl, also a Record Store Day thing. They also did something last year with Lizzie Hale. At least Dean Snyder did. And we have that as well. But I thought it was a single for Twisted Sister. And it was, I think it was called A Merry Twisted Christmas, I think.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, sweet, cool. Got it, played it. It was not Twisted Sister. It was this like rap metal group. And I was like, I don't know what this is. I don't really enjoy this.
Yeah.
When I did see that their logo was up, and I was like, "Oh, they're gonna be here." No, it was the first time we went around merch. I saw their like.
Oh,
this thing.
okay. Yeah.
I was like, "This is." I'm not going to enjoy this. I know you're not going to enjoy this. This is gonna not be fun.
So, do you want to give my first impression?
Go ahead, give your first impression.
Okay. So when they first come out, I kind of thought it was a joke, like a joke about rap.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know their names, but there's like a skinnier guy and then a little bit bigger guy. He's not big, but like a little bit bigger. When he would sing, I thought it was like a joke voice singing, and then or rapping. I guess they don't sing; they rap. And then I was like, oh, like their outfits kind of look like rapper outfits, and the one guy had like a hat on and stuff. Their faces are all painted white.
At least the two singers.
The two singers, yeah. Well, then the guitarist is painted white with like.
I couldn't tell if his was painted white or just had like the black smudge.
No,
on half
it was
his
white
face, like a cut type thing.
with like
a Joker cut.
Yeah, like with black on it. They had cool contacts. That was cool. They had like white contacts. But I thought it was like a joke on rap when they came out because it just sounded funny to me, and that's just my own personal opinion about it. I'm not like anything about like if you like them, cool. I just thought it was a joke. And then the next song started, and I'm like, oh, this is the whole 25 minutes. It's not a joke. They really do sing like this, or they do rap or whatever. So that was my first impression. And I didn't make the connection of the Twisted Christmas.
Yeah, I know I played
7-inch.
I know I played that for you. And I remember you saying you didn't like that.
Yeah,
So,
no,
but
yeah.
It's something I could definitely see you just like, I didn't enjoy that. It's out of my head now. I'm not
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
about that
yeah.
ever again.
100%.
No, when they came out, I did notice it was a drummer, a guitar player, and the two singers. And the two singers having like white face paint on gave me like Insane Clown Posse vibes a little bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this. And I didn't really enjoy it.
I don't think a lot of people enjoyed it.
But
There was one song that people really got into.
I don't know. So I did enjoy their music. I was like, I kind of wish there was more like a bass in here too.
That's I noticed that too. It was lacking a bass, and also I felt like their drum kit was very snary.
Well, he was having issues with his snare.
I saw that. Yeah.
He kept trying to like tweak it, and there's
Yeah.
one time the drum tech comes out and he goes to try to fix it, and the drummer just yells no.
Yeah. I saw that too.
But I think it was more of like he's just trying to get over the noise. It's like let him know like don't touch it. I think I have it fixed.
Yeah.
And they were having issues with the drum
Yeah.
kit for sure.
I mean, it comes in like 7 million pieces, so
It does come in like a fuck ton of pieces.
100% understandable.
But even though I didn't enjoy the music, I really enjoyed their energy. They had really good energy, I thought.
Yeah, I would agree.
And you're right. Not everybody was into it. I
Yeah.
think the majority of people definitely were not into it. Like Cultus Black, people are not really jumping around. Well, there were people jumping around, having a good time, headbanging, having a great time. And then here, a lot more people are just sort of like standing there stoic and just listening and enjoying, or just absorbing.
Just listening to it, yeah.
Enjoying it. And not enjoying it, absorbing it. Cut whatever that you want out. Got a few pits going. They didn't have a pit during Cultus Black.
Yeah.
And then I did kind of look over to it later. There were a few girls in the crowd like just jumping and enjoying it and like singing along every word of the song. The thing that pissed me off the most is this one fucking loser in the crowd behind us at one of the bars, just after every song they got done. You fucking suck. Get off the stage. Fuck you. You suck.
See, and I didn't hear that at all.
Oh, you didn't?
No. I remember the same thing happened when fucking Devin was there. Fuck Devin. He's stupid. During Avatar. And the same thing happened where they were like, you suck. Get off the stage. Like, I remember that happening. I don't recall this at all.
I hate that so much. Like, if it's not your thing, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like we said,
it'll be over in 30 minutes. Just let it play out.
We're not fucking here to hear your opinion. We're here to listen to the music.
Yeah.
And if I don't like it, I'm just going to sit there in silence. I'm not going to bounce around. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit here in silence and enjoy the time I'm having. Even though it's not the most enjoyable time, I'm going to make the best out of it.
Yeah.
You, this fucking loser, yelling, fuck you, you suck. You're not making it a good time. You're fucking ruining it for everyone. Go fuck yourself. Like, that's not cool. I hate that. It's like one of my biggest pet peeves is when people start like heckling the band. That they don't like, because like we said, there were a few women in the center of the stage moshing, jumping, having a time, singing all the songs. Somebody in this crowd, it is their favorite band.
Yeah,
it is their favorite music.
Or
that's who they're here to see.
Or somebody heard them for the first time and they now went and bought their CD or bought their albums, downloaded their stuff on Spotify, whatever the case is. Like, somebody found them and liked them.
But the other thing, the same thing that happened with your first show, is you were there to see El Nino.
Yeah.
And then you fell in love with the headliner, Disturbed.
Exactly, yeah.
And then that was your gateway into, well, not really, but like you stuck with that one band. But slowly over time, your love for metal music has grown.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could be the exact same thing here, right? Somebody showed up to see Twisted. And they're like, fuck it, I spent the $30, might as well stay and listen to Dope. Holy shit, Dope's awesome. Fear Factor was awesome. Or Dope was okay, Fear Factor was okay, but Static X, holy shit, they fucking kicked out. Like, whatever combination of all of that is.
Yeah.
Now that person is hooked on that. So, like, whatever your gateway into the music, like, into metal music is, whatever. It's fucking awesome. Like, so, because you don't like it, because it's not something you think is good, doesn't mean it's not good.
Right.
I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like the music. I loved their energy. Not music I'm seeking out. If they're at a festival playing, not a show, not an act I'm going to go see.
Yeah, unless it's only like two stages
or something like that, or if they're an opener, but it's not something I'm seeking out, right? But at the same time, I don't care if they're there and that's what I have to listen to. I'm going to listen to it in silence and whatever. People aren't here to hear my opinion at the concert. So don't fucking share your thoughts at a concert other than you guys fucking rock. Like, that's all I want to hear is cheering, and I don't want to hear this heckling shit. I fucking hate that so much. It pisses me off every time.
I feel like in the last couple of years we've heard a lot more heckling on bands.
Yeah.
Well, a few more. But then again, we're going to more concerts, so
that's true.
You might hear things more than what you did in the past.
Yeah, I don't know. But like I said, I enjoyed their energy because you didn't hear that guy saying, fuck you, you suck.
Yeah.
There was a song on their set list. I don't know. I can't find their set list. But it's something like, I want to kill you, or fuck you, I want to murder someone, or something like that.
Yeah. It was one of the like later songs, right, that they played?
Yeah, I can't remember what exactly it was, but kill somebody.
Yeah, I felt like it was later, but
yeah.
Anyways, the song.
I think the song was Kill Somebody, but I could be wrong here. Like I said, I don't know their music that well. Found it on a set list somewhere at a different show. But it was the singer nearest us was just sort of pointing him out, fingering him, being like, I want to kill somebody. Like, just singing the lyrics.
Yeah.
And like, fuck you, asshole. Fuck you. And at that point, the guy didn't say anything else for the rest of the night.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He was quiet. And I would look back at him, and he was just kind of like, cool, you don't enjoy it. Shut the fuck up. Go do something else.
Yeah.
But once again, like, the crowd interaction they had, their energy was great. I thought, like, they put on a good performance. The music just wasn't there.
Right. No, yeah, like, their stage presence is fantastic. It again, it's just not what I would seek out.
Right, exactly. Like I said, this was the first time we saw a couple mosh pits tonight.
Yep.
My foot, like I said, was hurting. I was coming down with a little bit of a cold. I was chewing down cough drops that night as well, like I'm doing now, to try to stop me from coughing. And the cough drops were like my stomach hurt. Like that like sugary shit in your stomach was not good.
Yeah, because I think it's supposed to be like one every 4 hours or something, not like...
Not one after another. Like
not
pop, pop,
3
pop.
packs in 2 hours.
So I needed water bad. So when they got done, we went to the back, got water. Fucking crowded. You could not move. You couldn't get to the floor. So we're like, all right, let's hang back here. It's near the bar area. We could see the TV screen. We're right in front of a pole again. We were like that for We Come as Roman, right?
Yeah, We Came as Romans for Brand of Sacrifice.
Yes.
We were behind a pole. Like, I could kind of see around the pole, but I didn't realize that you were like... Right. You couldn't see anything.
And this time we weren't like right in front of the pole. We were back by the bar.
Yeah.
And like whatever, we'll hear the music, we'll see the TV, we can at least see the performance. Then when set change happens, we'll start working our way down, trying to get, when people go back to the bathroom and get beer and shit, we'll work our way forward to try to get back on the floor and slowly make our way up. But in Twisted with the mosh pit, I did get the side of my foot stepped on, and my foot hurt so fucking bad, and I wasn't feeling good, like we said. And when we were standing there for Dope, like, it was horrible. The sound was horrible. Yeah, like you couldn't hear shit.
Do you want to start talking about?
Go ahead, talk about. Yeah,
so
talk about it.
So I'm gonna go back to when we saw Apocalyptica last year, early in the maybe April of 2022 or something. But when we saw Apocalyptica, when we got there, we got there before the concert started, but it was only 3 bands, I think. Or just 2 bands.
I think.
Was it just Lacuna Coil and Apocalyptica?
I think it was. I can't remember. Yeah.
So Lacuna Coil was first, and everybody was there to see Lacuna Coil. By the time Apocalyptica got on, people kind of filtered out. But when we went to see, or when we got there, like, we couldn't get on the floor. This is back in 2022 when we saw, or went to Apocalyptica there. And this was our second show, I guess, back to that venue after COVID, because we went and saw Avatar there. Right? Was Avatar there?
Avatar was there in 2021.
2021. Okay.
In November, I think.
Or okay.
Late 2021.
Yeah. But so we were back by the other side of the bar, the left side of the bar. And I hated it for Lacuna Coil. I could see the stage, but it sounded horrible when you're not on the floor, like the center part, like in the pit area in front of the stage. It sounds horrible. There are speakers back there, but they don't have them on. So it's so muffled because the balcony comes over, and Lacuna Coil just sounded horrible. So I thought maybe it was just that one night. But when we saw Dope, again, we were under the balcony, back by the bar, and I couldn't even hear him say anything. Like, when he talked, I couldn't hear anything. The music was so muffled. It was just not enjoyable at all.
Yeah, the music wasn't good at all. I could hear him speak a little bit.
Okay.
But when we saw Band of Sacrifice, basically in the same area, just on stage, right at that time.
But that was by the pole. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We were by the pole, so like maybe because we were sticking
like
our heads
5
around
rows forward. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that helped a little bit.
Yeah, because that wasn't that bad. The view sucked, but otherwise you could hear them.
Was pretty good. Right.
Yeah.
Agree with that. So I mean, that did suck too.
I just don't understand why they don't turn the speakers on.
Yeah, I don't know. The other thing that was pissing me off was all the chatter.
Yeah, everyone was talking. That's because the music's so low.
Fucking person, like all I heard was chatter, and not like I couldn't pick up one conversation. It was every group of people having their own little
Yeah. I even saw people in front of us who were like turned around talking to each other. Like they weren't even watching the concert.
Right.
They were just talking to each other. Which, okay. It's okay to have a social moment, but when the band's playing, shut the fuck up, watch the band, give them your respect.
Right.
And then during set change, have your fucking conversation.
And if you have like something to say, like we do this every now and then, we'll like tap each other and we'll like come down and I'll whisper something in your ear or speak
or we'll
something
text
in
each
your
other.
ear or text something. We joked once like we need to learn ALS so we can just sit there and like
yeah.
do
yeah.
that instead.
Yeah.
But like the whole point is like we're not trying to disrupt other people too. Like we're here to see the band. People paid money to see the band. People didn't pay to listen to us fucking chat.
Right.
So we want to see the band too. Like if this isn't the band you're here to see or the thing you want to see, cool. Somebody else is here to fucking see it. So shut your goddamn fucking mouth. Nobody cares about you or what you think. Like just
I was so
shut
excited
up.
to see Dope again because I remember when we saw them in 2019, like just the energy was so crazy and like the floor was so crazy and like I was just so excited to see them. And we stayed for 2 songs.
I think 2.5, 3. So I think I was also getting very pissed off at how shitty the music was. All the fucking chatter around us.
I did tell you, I was like, if we can't get back on the floor, I'm not watching this.
And that's the thing too. I didn't think we were going to get on the floor easily, if at all, because I don't think people are going to be leaving.
Yeah.
And when they do, it's one person goes back,
grabs 4 beers, and they take that.
Comes back up, right?
Yeah.
And they had that one person sort of fight through the crowd, which kind of frustrates me when that happens, but also kind of doesn't. Like if that's what you want to do,
we do
want
it.
to, not often.
You go get a beer and you bring me back a water.
Right, but I only,
almost all the time.
But I only do that if we're toward the back. I don't do it if we're like in the middle or in the front.
That's true. You don't leave, but
like there's bands where it's like I know I want to be as close to the stage as I can get, and I go in there knowing like I'm not drinking anything. I'm not going to the bathroom at all. I'm gonna stand here for 5 fucking hours in my one spot, and then I'll deal with all that shit at the end of the show. But there's people who will go back. Like I'm torn if I like it or not. Where it's like, no, I had my spot. I just went back there to get beer. It's like, you lost your spot. Sorry, it's not spots back. We don't do that fucking shit here.
Right.
There was at like a Metallica show we went to in Vegas. There was like a woman like, no, my son's up there. I need to be with my son.
Right.
It's like, what kind of shitty mother leaves her son alone then?
Yeah.
Like if you needed your son, you should have taken him with you. It's like, no, it's like, no, you don't have a son up there. You're just trying to get as close as you can. And like all of us around in the area were like, no, it's packed. We're shoulder to shoulder as is. There's no room for you up here. Sorry, you should have got here sooner. And that's fucking things people show up at 6, 4, 5 in the goddamn morning.
To see Metallica.
Get rail.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, you're not going to fucking do that. You can get as close as you can get, but like if somebody says no, you got to fuck off. At least that's my opinion. I don't know. So I'm torn if I like that or not, but at the same time, if you're going to send one friend back and save them a spot, cool, go do it. Let them fight their way back and back forward, you know. Not something I'm really into or wanting to do, so I just don't do it. Yeah. So, I don't know where this is going, other than, I don't think we're going to get on the floor. And if we were, it wasn't going to be in a good spot. Yeah. And if we did, it was probably going to be with our back against the wall or something. The last 2 times we've done that, it has been very uncomfortable. I think I had like a panic attack last time it happened. Yeah. So I was like, I don't want to do any of that. I wasn't feeling good.
You were not.
My foot hurt like shit.
Yeah. I think in the middle of Dope, we went and used the restroom. And I watched you walk to the restroom. And I knew at that point, I'm like, we cannot get back on the floor because if it moves around like it did in 2019, you're not going to be able to walk. So we made the executive decision to leave a concert.
And it sucked. Like, this was a concert we've been waiting fucking literally 3 years to see.
Yes. Yeah.
So, like, God, it sucked.
But it was okay. I mean, it's for, I don't want to say your health, but kind of your health. I mean, you weren't feeling well.
And we have a lot of fucking shit coming up in terms of concerts.
We do.
See. And it's like,
you need to get better.
Get better so we can then go to those shows instead of just continually making it worse and worse.
And we have shows coming up on bands that we haven't seen before, events that we are going to that we haven't done before. Like, there's stuff coming up that we not need to be at, but we want to be at. Not that we didn't want to be here, because I was so excited for this show. But yeah, we just made the decision to leave.
I mean, the one good thing is the time we saw Static X in 2019, that was sort of a tribute to Wayne Static.
Wayne, yeah.
Who had passed away, and they brought a special new singer in to play his part, sing his part, and whatnot, right? And it was great. He was fine. Wasn't Wayne Static, but did the job. They put on a fucking phenomenal show. It was amazing. And I assumed that was it. They were done. They weren't coming back. But then they announced this show, and I was like, holy shit. Maybe they're coming back to do more shows. Maybe there's new music coming out. And there is. A new album, I think, coming out.
In November.
But it's the last bit of Wayne Static stuff as well.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Hopefully they do their own shit. They keep it going and whatnot. If they don't, completely understandable. Maybe they start their own new band, But...
Or just tour with the old stuff.
So it makes me hopeful that we will see them again. I'm really excited, and I hope we do see them again. So in my mind, this isn't the last time we'll see any of these bands. I think we're even seeing Fear Factory and maybe even Dope later this year.
I think so too. Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. Cultus Black, we'll see them again.
I hope so. Oh my gosh, yeah. I can't wait for them to sign on to a tour again because we'll be buying tickets.
Yeah. Just on them alone, basically. But yeah, then we came home and just sort of rested up. I iced up my foot, took some ibuprofen or something, maybe not, I can't remember, and just sort of relaxed. You were scrolling through Instagram, I think.
Yeah.
And saw that Cultus Black was live streaming.
Yes, yeah.
So we threw that on the TV for a little bit.
Yeah,
and watched that.
they only we only saw like maybe 10 minutes of it. But, they were live streaming, and Fear Factory was on, I think, when they were live streaming. So we were hoping, I guess I don't know if I went back to check to see if they did any of Static X, but we were hoping that they would maybe do Static X as well, but they didn't. They could have. I don't know.
Yeah, I was really hoping they did too.
Yeah.
I figured that would be like a good consolation to like sit on the couch with my foot iced up and watch the show from there. It's not the same as being
absolutely
there.
not. No.
But even like seeing Fear Factory, the floor was moving a bit.
Yeah.
It looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm upset we missed it, but I'm also kind of glad that we did leave when we did. I know, you just got to take care of yourself, I guess. And we've only left one other concert, and that was self-induced why we left.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know.
It's something we don't do often.
No, we try to get there early, see all the openers, see everybody, and then leave. But it was disappointing, but whatever, we did it. It was I think it was the right decision to make at the time. And yeah, I don't know what else to say.
So what are your final thoughts on House of Blues?
So like I said, I've been sort of on the downtick from House of Blues, and definitely am. Like, if you're on the floor and can get to the floor, it's a great venue. It's a good sound.
Yeah.
It's very small. I don't like that.
It is so small. I think before because I mean, back in 2019, the majority of the shows we had seen were at House of Blues.
Yeah.
You had been to Aragon. I've been to the Riviera and the Vic. But other than that, like, it was House of Blues. We went to Soldier once. But, I mean, other than that, it was like that small venue was what we were used to. Now that we've not expanded, but bands are going to other venues, like, we've seen we've seen so many different venues and seen the opportunities at these larger venues that the House of Blues just isn't desirable anymore.
Yeah, and like I said, if you're on the floor, it's great.
Yeah. But then you can't leave the floor.
Yes, and I don't like now the setup, especially going to like the Radius and just seeing this wide open spot.
Yeah.
Like, if you could take away those steps up to that walkway and then that little bar area. Yeah. And if it was just all flat and
just
level.
A whole floor. Yeah, that makes sense.
If it was just a flat level floor. Yeah. It would be 100 times better than it is now.
And take out the railings and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. I would agree.
The Vic it's a staggered floor as well. I don't like that. So we're going to see a show there sometime this year, I think. Yeah. Again, I do really like the Vic a lot.
I like the Vic, yeah. Well, the Riviera is staggered too.
The Riviera is, yes. I'm liking Aragon a lot more. Yeah. But the Radius is still my favorite, I think, in the city.
Oh, yeah, Radius so far, yeah.
But Aragon, Riviera, and the Radius are all, I would call, medium-sized venues. Yeah. Where
like 3,000 to 4,000 people, probably.
Probably, yeah.
That might be even more than.
We might be, but
Yeah.
I think these small ones are right around 1,000 at most.
Oh yeah, House of Blues can't be more than 1,000.
I think it's like 1,200.
Is it really?
I think so.
Well, is that counting the balconies though?
See, that's the thing. We don't go to the balconies.
See, and I also feel like people don't utilize the balconies. If they buy a ticket for the balcony, we didn't for Apocalyptica. We were supposed to be upstairs, and we went down to the floor. So I think that people might buy those tickets, but then they stand downstairs.
I think if you buy a balcony ticket, you're supposed to
be up there.
I went to buy tickets for Black Label Society in like 2018, 2019. I can't remember when they came back or when they were in town. But I went to buy tickets. I used to work downtown. Over my lunch, like, I'm going to go for a walk. Walk down to House of Blues. I was like, yeah, can I, because if you walk there, they'll print out like physical tickets. Yeah. And we want physical tickets.
Yeah. I don't know if they still do that anymore, though.
I don't know if they do either.
Yeah.
But anyway, walked up there. Yeah, I'll take 2 tickets for Black Label Society. Sorry, they're sold out on the floor. We can get you balcony tickets. I was like, oh, can you go to the floor with balcony tickets? And they're like, no, you can't. If balcony is for the balcony. And I was like, oh. She's like, but if you like talk to the bouncer, sometimes you just gotta give them like $20 and they'll let you go down. And I was like, I don't want to take this on a possible bribe. Like, I'm not gonna buy tickets on the possibility of bribing somebody, because easily they could be like, you trying to bribe me, sir?
Right. Like, no.
I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they're gonna be like, it's 40, not 20, sir. Come on. Like, we only have 30. Like, well, that's the price then.
Yeah.
But
that's exactly what it is.
Yes. Good luck for you, or good news for you.
Yeah.
But so I just opted, like, nah, fuck it. They'll be back. And they were, and we saw them at the Radius, and it was great.
It was fun. Yeah.
So unfortunately, there are still a lot of bands that they go to House of Blues. I don't know if it's a contract thing, if they can't sell out larger places. There's a few bands I'm like, you can't sell anything larger than this.
Right. Like why could you not? Yeah. Like, we've seen Avatar every single time at House of Blues.
The one time they were at the Aragon,
we didn't make it.
We were unable to make it.
Yeah. But so every time we've seen them is at House of Blues. And I'm like, I've seen pictures of them playing in Europe, and they're at these larger venue, like a Aragon type venue. And I'm like, why couldn't they do that here? And even when I was looking through Cultus Black's Instagram, a few nights before, they were at a venue that held 4,000 people, and it sold out. So I'm like, in Chicago, it obviously would have sold out.
The only thing I can think of is, and I don't know this for sure, maybe looking at the Static X poster will have something, but...
Is it sponsored by a certain band or ticket seller?
No, what I'm thinking is, if they play Indianapolis, then they play Chicago, then they play Milwaukee, then they play Wisconsin, right?
Oh,
or Madison.
Wisconsin.
Yeah. Madison. Like, when you do that, the people from Milwaukee are going to go to the Milwaukee show, not the Chicago show.
Yeah.
Unless they're super fans who are going to travel back and forth.
But they played the big ballroom at the Rave in Milwaukee.
Did they?
Yeah.
So, but then you get the Madison folks coming down to see it.
Yeah.
Where if you don't play that show, and you only play Chicago, then they have to play, travel down to Chicago to see the show. That's the only thing I can think of in the back of my head is a band bouncing around to a bunch of other places. Also, there are some fans that don't have the means to travel, even from Milwaukee to Chicago or Chicago to Milwaukee, right? So being able to come here and get to those fans who don't have the means necessarily to get to that particular venue can now see you in this,
No,
see you.
I totally understand that. I feel like they could go to a different venue.
I think they could too, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. They could go to a different venue, but they'd have to make sacrifices at other shows.
I would hate to see House of Blues shut down because bands aren't going there.
I know it's a Live Nation venue now, so I don't give a shit anymore. Like, if it shuts down, like,
that's true.
Good riddance. Fuck Live Nation. So the Radius isn't owned by them, so let's go there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right now they're not.
Yeah, right now they're not.
I hope that they don't.
Did they buy House of Blues in like 2020?
I don't know. I don't know because I don't remember seeing that they were at Live Nation.
Maybe they always were. I don't know.
They could have been. I don't know. I've seen it in the last 2 years, so I don't know when it happened.
I mean,
We could probably figure it out somehow by like Googling it, but
it doesn't matter. Bands are gonna come. They're gonna play there. We're gonna go see them because we love the band.
That's one thing I was gonna say is even though we're not unhappy, but it's no longer our favorite venue. We're not gonna like not see you because you're going to House of Blues, where there's a lot of bands that go to Tinley Park.
Yeah, that's when we're not really going out to.
And we don't go out there. We're going one more time this year.
At least, yeah.
And that might be the last time.
It might be. I hate that fucking place.
I think
so
we said
much.
last year that we weren't going to go anymore. And now we're going one more time.
I mean, we said probably not. Like,
Yeah.
it's always going to be if this one band goes, we'll have to make the decision if we're going to do it or not.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that when we come to that show. But yeah, I hate that amphitheater so much, and that's everything everybody does in the summer.
Yeah.
It's fucking
Summer
ridiculous.
shows go to the amphitheaters, which I get it. People want live music outside and everything. But there has to be a better setup than an amphitheater.
I don't want live music outside. I want to be in a fucking stadium in the
Really?
dark. I don't want to like, well, the sun's gonna set in 20 minutes. No,
That's true. It is very weird. Like when Rammstein played out there, like it was light out when they started playing.
Yeah.
And that was very weird.
I want to be in the basement of some goddamn room. I don't.
Yeah.
Make it dark. That's what I want. Like,
no windows, no nothing. Yeah.
Festivals are cool, but that's a unique thing. But outside music is, fuck that. The outside sucks. There's plants and disease and fucking nature. Like, no, fuck that. I did enough of that nature shit when I was young. Like, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done.
You're an old man now.
Yeah, fuck that. Anyway, go listen to music. Go find what you enjoy. And yeah, just love music. Listen to music. Enjoy it.
And remember to take care of yourself.
Yes, definitely that. And we'll see you around.
Bye.